Okay, good morning. Getting started here. Welcome to Event Tech Live Day 2. Thank you for being with us here nice and early. Firstly, big thank you to Event Tech Live sponsors Choose to Rent and Kaltura for sponsoring the theatre here today. Who was here yesterday? A few. If you haven't used it already, you can follow live captions on Interprify over there via the Interprify app. For Q&A, if you scan the QR code here, you'll get access to Pigeonhole, or you can go to pigeonhole.at. If you ask your questions in there, we'll get to those towards the end. So for the first session today, I'm pleased to introduce Zoe Fiddes. Zoe is Senior Director of Customer Success at Kaltura, and she is going to be talking to us about maximizing event ROI. So please, Zoe, over to you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. So today we're going to be talking about ROI, return on investment, related to events. My name is Zoe. He's already introduced me, so I don't need to do that. So the goal of our session is really about discussing how do we measure ROI, and how can we then optimize ROI. So I'd like to say that whilst I'm presenting today, a lot of what I'm sharing is based on our own experiences and research of putting on events as our own company, and also by working with our customers. And I'll be sharing a lot of tips from a guy called Jason Widup, who is a B2B marketing expert, and I would definitely encourage you to follow him on LinkedIn. Really, really good guy with some good knowledge to share. So there's a lot to cover in this area, as you can imagine, and we only have 20 minutes, half an hour today. But if you did want to dig deeper, we have some ebooks on these subjects. And at the end, I'll share a QR code, or you can come to our stand just behind here, and I'll give you the link. And you're welcome to download these to get more details. So today is really a summary, and some of the things I'm sure you are all, some of the things I'm mentioning, I'm sure you're experts already, but hopefully you'll get some new stuff out of it too. Okay, so starting off with an easy question. Why events? Why are events such an important part of a company's strategy? Why are we all here today? Why have we come to this event today? I'm sure you can all answer this, but this is how I see it. Events are about building relationships and trust with potential customers or your employees, or anyone that's even tangentially related to your ideal customer profile. And the more you can serve these people and give them the education they're looking for, and making it fun and engaging, it can build that trust. And obviously trust then fosters relationships. Relationships turn into demand down the line. So that's one thing. And then you have brand awareness. Is also very, very important. But it goes a bit deeper than this, because you as a company want to become a trusted advisor to your target audience. You want to become a friend to the people that could potentially use your product. And events are a really good way of showing off your company's personality. It's a way of helping people see if they're aligned with your company, to see if they can do great things with you. So absolutely, overall, events are an essential piece of any company strategy. But at the same time, there are major challenges. I mean, we're all facing challenges right now in any job that we do, but particularly for marketing and events, it's a very challenging year. Expenses and budgets are being cut, and this goes on both sides. It may be that you as an event organizer, the people putting on the event, you have less budget, but also the people coming to the event coming to the event has less budget as well. A lot of companies, for whatever reason, the recession, are cutting travel expenses. So the budget issue is on both sides, and you need to consider this, especially when you're putting on an in-person event. The other challenge is ROI, return on investment, and attribution is always a struggle. Because say someone comes to an event, and then a customer comes to an event, and then they upsell or cross-sell, or someone comes to an event and then they purchase as a new customer, it's always difficult to associate how much credit that the event gets for that. It could be on the customer side that they are already an engaged and happy customer, and that's the reason why they came to the event in the first place, and they were going to upsell anyway. So how do you measure that? It could be that someone came to an event and then subsequently closed a £100,000 deal off the back of that. How much of that £100,000 would you accredit to the event? It's difficult. But at the same time, ROI is being asked of us. It's a measurement that's needed, especially to justify the events that you want to put on to your executives and other people holding the purse strings. So, how do you get around that challenge? How can you measure ROI of an event? I'm sure you're all familiar with this very simple formula that we've got up on the screen here, which is events impact divided by the events budget, and you obviously want that to be over 100%. Or another way of putting that is you want the events impact to be greater than the events budget. And when you're considering this, one of the most important things is that you determine the formula for the event impact before you run the event, not after it. Because if you consider this after an event, then due to natural human behavior, you will choose a metric that's more favorable to you. For example, you will look at it afterwards and you say, oh, we had really great attendee rate. We had 80% attendee rate. Let's base the event impact on attendees. So you really want to decide how to calculate these things before it happens. And this is the best thing you can do. Otherwise, you get trapped in your emotions because you want to prove that the event did well after the fact. So get to an agreement with everyone and on the calculation that you're going to use and stick with it. And then obviously, after running some events and you think the formula's not right, you can tweak it and have a new formula. So what measures could you actually use to determine this formula of event impact? And here you have some quantifiable metrics that you could use in your formula. Now, this is particularly useful when you're having to deal with executives and sales teams who just want results. We all know that. That's what they're after. Give me the results. Show me the results. And you have to justify why you're putting on events to them. So trying to forecast ROI is very difficult, but whilst you are not able to give them that exact number to justify an event you want to put on, you can show them what you plan to measure, and that can help drive a decision. Executives and executives, what do they want? They want buzz around a brand, they want brand awareness, they want people talking about their company. So if you can generate that and put metrics around it, then these are leading indicators that measure a success of an event. Then you're not just focusing on the deals closed and the revenue made, which is actually a lagging indicator. So some of the good leading indicators for tracking are things like engagement with the content that you've put out there just after an event, or the engagement that you've had and the amount of conversations that were going on during the event. Or looking at things like how many mentions you get on social media during and after event. And then, of course, there's post-event surveys to get the feedback and NPS scores. So these are all really good ones to consider the impact score, and they're leading indicators, not lagging indicators. Okay, so now moving on from talking about how to calculate an ROI and different measurements and putting a formula together to actually how you could potentially boost your ROI. And I'm sure I'm preaching here to some of you that already know a lot of this, but we're going to go through some stuff and we'll see if there's new ideas in there as well. So we've split this up into before, during, and after, classic stages of an event cycle. And I'm going to give you a quick summary of each of these. So first of all, sorry there's so much information on this slide, I won't be going through each point, but obviously before an event, you are focusing on driving registrations to that event, and you want these to be high quality registrations. People that have a potential interest in the product that you're selling. So the first thing is organically, right? Organically getting registrations to your event. So if you have an audience that's already listening to you on social or other channels, you want to maximize this and make use of those free channels first to get the registrations in. So you'll be putting out content, sowing sessions, and really maximizing what you have already. And then I'm sure that you're all using paid ads already, and some obvious things there. You'll use paid ads. You'll exclude those people that you already have following your channels, because there's no point in wasting money. And you can do things like filter on industry and job title. It's marketing 101. Another useful thing to do when you're using social ads is to use the lead gen forms on those platforms, because as we all know, no one these social platforms don't let us leave these days, so it's better to just get the person to register whilst they're on the platform, and you get the conversion quickly. Another point is external speakers. External speakers can be a very good way to open you up to a new audience and network that you don't usually meet. They also will share it on their social, so you can get new connections. But of course, you want to make sure that this person is the right fit for your company. Check the following that they have. Are they the right fit for your target audience? And when you are working with a speaker, you should make sure they're creating a unique session for you, and they're not just regurgitating something that they've done before. And you want to make sure that they're providing a takeaway for your customers or potential customers, something that can enlighten them. And another thing you should do in advance is to have an agreement with that external speaker that they're going to run 2 to 3 promotional activities on your behalf, because you can have an external speaker show up and they do their job, but they can do so much more to help you get into these other pools of users or customers, however you classify that, and that's the important thing. Okay, and then the last tip here on this slide is employing your existing registrants to help you generate more registrations. So this is the classic thing of running a social contest where you say, post a picture of yourself holding this thing, saying why you're excited about coming to the event, use this hashtag, and every time someone does that, they have an entrance to win a prize, like something decent, like an iPhone or Peloton or something that's decent and relative for your registrants, something that's going to entice them. So again, all of these ideas, external speakers, getting your registrants to promote it, this is going outside of your network. And this is exactly what you want to do. You need to find ways of getting outside your existing network that you already have to maximize registrations. Okay, so during the event, obviously for every event that you do, you have your pool of registrations, and in an ideal dream scenario, everyone that registered would also attend your event. But we know in reality that doesn't happen. So obviously the registrant to attendee percentage is always something that you're looking at. So you've probably seen this as well, but I've noticed that since COVID, a lot of people are registering to an event, and I'm talking about online events now. A lot of people register just to get the online recording. And that's kind of frustrating because you put a lot of effort into your live event. And also, when people attend an in-person or live event, it's a very different feeling to if they're just consuming the content on their own, on demand. They're not engaging, they're not talking to each other, so you're losing a lot of value when people do that, when people just sign up to get the recording. So something that works is to be very clear with those registrants that you're not going to drop all of the content immediately after the event. You're going to drip it out over 6 months or whatever term you choose. So if there's a session that they want to see and they want to get the information, they have to come to the live event on the day, or the alternative is that they wait until you've released the information, but that could be potentially 6 months down the road. And this can have a huge effect on boosting the number of registrants that actually then attend, well above average. And it can also make events more engaging because people come ready and more people come to the event. Okay, another tactical thing is you could pick a platform or technology that will automatically send a calendar block for the time of the event. Instead, what most of us do is we send an email invite with a call to action, add event or join event. So the user has to take another action to get it into their calendar. And what usually happens is people think, yeah, I've signed up to this event, great, my calendar's free, I can make it. But later on, their calendar then gets blocked and they don't turn up to the event because their calendar's been blocked with something else. So if you can use some sort of technology that's sending a calendar event that is far more effective than just sending a join call to action. Okay, another point is if you're running a yearly event or some sort of periodic event, you can invite the last year's registrations, but don't get them to fill in the registration form again. You have all of their data already. Just send them an email saying you're invited, and then they just say, yes, I'm coming, or no, I'm not. Like, people don't enjoy filling in registration forms, so don't take the friction out and don't make them go through that again. Okay, then on the engagement side, obviously for online events, you have so many new tools for engagement these days, for networking, different ways to chat with people, and doing some matchmaking based on the industry or their job title can be quite interesting. Another thing that's quite interesting is you could ask your presenters to pre-record their session, and then you live stream it, so that then the presenter can be part of the live Q&A. So your audience are then getting direct access to an expert whilst they're speaking on stage. They can be chatting with that expert in the chat whilst also listening to the live stream. It's highly relevant and highly engaging. Like, imagine you were watching a live stream of Elon Musk, but you could also chat to Elon Musk and hear his opinions and views live in real time whilst you're watching what he's saying. You can contend or ask him questions in real time whilst he's also on stage. But of course, Elon Musk would probably use an AI to get that. So, an AI is a whole other area of things you can do in events. There's a lot going on there. Okay, the last thing is repurposing content. So, from my experience, I've seen our customers, we provide event platform solutions and video platform solutions. I've seen customers spend 4 months, maybe 5 months, working on a massive flagship event for thousands of users, virtual event, maybe hybrid as well. And they put so much effort into this event, and it's an amazing event. You go, and it's an incredible 3 days. And it's the same, and then after the event, they have all of this amazing recorded content. They've recorded every single session, high quality, brilliant. And then after the event, what do they do with those recorded sessions? Some of it goes on their website in full form, maybe edited slightly, but half an hour-long sessions that they put on their website. And that's it. Why spend $200,000, $300,000 on a flagship 3-day event where you've created all of this amazing content and not use it? I'm baffled by this. And I think it's got something to do with event teams sometimes not being very well aligned with marketing teams. And also that's where the ROI gets forgotten, because marketing often cares about ROI, but event organizers are focused on experiences, which they should be, but there's a bit of a disconnect there. And it's even the same, not even for big webinars, for individual webinars. A lot of effort goes into that webinar. I spent hours preparing this session today, and it's only 20 minutes long. And what normally happens with online webinars, the registrants and attendees get an email afterwards with a recorded link. If you do a webinar on Zoom, automatically you get a recorded link via email, and then that's it. That's it for the recording. It's a waste. So going back to what I said before about not releasing all recorded content in one go and dripping it out over the months, that's good for a big flagship where you've got a lot of content. And that can give weekly content for 6 months for your marketing team. So another important thing is don't just publish the long form of the session. Make sure you're creating content into snackable pieces like Instagram and TikTok, adding memes, adding animations, really mixing it up, 30, 60 seconds with kind of insights and light bulb moments, and it really makes it easy to share it on social. And then you share that on social, and then obviously it leads to a deeper piece of content on your website or somewhere else where you want to take the user. And you can give these little snackable clips to your presenters. If it's a clip of them saying something remarkable, they would love to share that on their social media. So again, you're getting even more out of that. You can obviously take some of those sessions that you've done and produce masterclasses into mini webinars. There's a lot that can be done with the content. So please don't forget about the amazing content that you've produced. and get it reused. And marketing teams love this. You're giving them content that has meaning, real meaning, with your clients and prospects, and that's really hard to achieve. You know, they pay production companies a lot of money for this sort of content, so it's hugely valuable. And just touching on AI quickly, there's obviously a lot of AI tools now that can do this for us. The snackable pieces, automatically taking an hour-long bit of content and chopping it up into sort of smaller pieces. So you can even reduce the amount of money you're spending on this and the man hours you're spending on it. Okay, so that's it. Everything I wanted to share. As I said, it was a high-level summary, I'll leave this. We'll do some questions, but I will put this up just here in case you do. I don't know if that's going to work that far from your. And there's another one as well. So yeah.
Great, thank you, Zoe. Obviously, event ROI, a huge area, but some really good takeaways in there for everyone, I'm sure. A couple of questions here on the Pigeonhole app that we've got a couple of minutes for. So the first one at the top then there, what if the ROI of the event is not good or no good? What do you do? Do you cut it, or any advice on how you can approach that?
Yeah, so okay, you've got your ROI formula and your event's done really badly. Like you've got 50%, so less than 100%. I wouldn't say that you immediately cut it. You need to find out what went wrong. Do some investigation, find out why is my ROI formula producing a bad result. So yeah, you really need to do some investigation, find out what went wrong, and obviously change that for your next event. So yeah, don't immediately cut it.
Yeah, don't cut it, but look for gradual improvement, I imagine. I guess when we think of ROI, we all often put monetary value attached to that, whether it be revenue, ticket sales, sponsorship, all those kind of things. But what's the best way to measure ROI for an internal corporate event where there's no obvious monetary value?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because obviously events are not all for getting potential customers or for upsells or for selling a new product. Events can also be for internal events for employees, you know, like the sales kickoff that companies normally do at the beginning of the year. I'd say in this situation where it's not about monetary value, or you can't really measure it, how do you know, if all these salespeople coming to an event and making them feel good, how do you know what impact that then has on sales? That's really difficult to measure. So instead, you've got to really focus on the experience that people had and what they're taking away from it. So you've got to really try and find out from the people that attended that event, get their feedback. So this is where you need to use feedback forms, maybe NPS, and use that as your measure of ROI instead of a monetary measure.
Okay, anyone else got any other questions? Would like to ask any questions? Okay, well, thank you very much, Zoe. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.